I'm endlessly on Facebook, on Twitter, on sites like Comic Space. I'm always looking on DeviantArt. I'm networking with people all the time. I'm going to conventions. Um, I'm talking to retailers. You have to do those things all the time, and if you don't, you will be forgotten because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are trying to do the same thing you are. And you know, people say talent rises to the top, and that's true, but only to a point. It's only going to rise so far. Um, I'm not the most talented writer in the world, and Jesus Hates Zombies has done really, really well. I've been really fortunate. I've been lucky in several aspects. One, that Alternate Comics picked it up when they did and got it into Diamond. Um, if it wasn't in the previous catalog, then it wouldn't have sold nearly as many copies as it has. Um, I was fortunate enough to meet and convince the illustrators that I've worked with to take part in the books. If that didn't happen, then clearly there would be no book because I can't draw to save my life. So I always like to say I leave the hard part to the talented people. That's the art. Um, you know, and then if I hadn't busted my ass online saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at my book, look at my book, look at my book, look at all these great artists that are in it, look at the amazing work that they're doing, um, and none of it would have started. This tiny pebble that's rolling down a hill feels like it's starting to gain a little bit of momentum. It might be a little bit bigger than it was 3 years ago. Never would have started rolling, without opportunity, luck, and a shitload of work and hours put in promoting. And that's not going to stop. I need to keep doing that, which is why I'm doing something like this right now. You have to be visible. You have to be out there. You have to let people know who you are, what you're trying to do, and that you give a fuck. Because if you don't give a fuck, nobody's going to give a fuck about you. Um, I really care about this business. I care about comics. I care about writing. I care about what I'm doing. And I care about what the other people are doing as well. I don't look at myself as competing with other comics. I look at it as a community. And there's a lot of shelf space on the wall. So there's a lot of room for everybody's comics out there. So if we kind of support each other, then we're that much further ahead of the game. Whereas if people are constantly, if you keep other creators an arm's distance, you're not going to get that far. Comics is, for the thousands of people that are in it, it's a really small community. And everyone kind of knows everyone else. So if you don't play nice, you're going to get ostracized really quick. But I dig what everybody else is doing. I have so much respect for anybody that's going to put in the time and effort it takes to do something like this. If you don't love it, don't bother getting into it because it'll eat you alive. And it could eat you alive if you do love it. So that's my feelings on that. Jesus, I'm going to talk about everything that I could possibly talk about in one stupid video blog. Alright, lastly, I put a call out saying if anybody had any questions for me, I would gladly answer them. I wasn't expecting anybody to ask me any questions. Lo and behold, I did get some questions, so I'm a man of my word, and I am going to answer some questions. First one is from Heather Royston, the self-proclaimed Jesus Hates Zombies superfan, and I must admit she is quite a superfan. She's fantastic. She has supported everything I've done right from the beginning, and she's awesome. She writes, how does it feel to be so freaking awesome? Well, if I ever feel like I'm awesome, I'll let you know. And it feels good to be creating, and it feels good to know that my work is connecting with some people, and it feels good to know that there are people out there like you, Heather, who actually do give a shit about my stuff. So that is beyond cool, and I'm forever grateful. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing it without people who actually care. But how does it feel to be freaking awesome? I have no idea. Kurt says, where did Jesus Hate Zombies come from? It's one of those, I wish I'd thought of that, ideas. For those of you who don't know Kurt Belcher, he's a fantastic artist, and you'll definitely be seeing his stuff, and he's a really, really cool guy. I've answered this in a bunch of interviews I've done, actually. Jesus Hate Zombies came from a failed zombie drama that I was doing. Well, I won't say failed. I started off doing a zombie drama called After the Rising. I was writing it, and I was going to have a friend, Matt Barr, who was going to illustrate it. And it was going along really well, and it was a story that I thought was really strong, and I was really enjoying it. But this was before I really got back into comics. Um, so as I'm doing it, I decided I better check out what else is out there, zombie comic wise, because I don't even know. So lo and behold, in my research, I found Walking Dead. And anybody who knows me knows that I worship that book. I worship Robert Kirkman as a writer. And you can't do a straight zombie survival drama better than that. You can't. I mean, you know, one of my ideas for After the Rising was that it was going to be about the people, not the zombies. Well, that's exactly what Walking Dead is, and I can't do it better. And I knew I couldn't do it better, so I wasn't going to waste my time trying to do it better. Um, I just would rather enjoy The Walking Dead and say, oh, I had an idea like that once, but I wouldn't have been able to execute it as well as Robert Kirkman does. Um, but I knew I wanted to do something with zombies, so I decided to try and marry my love zombies, comedy, and 50s B movies. And when I mixed all of that together and a healthy dose of my Catholic school upbringing came in, Jesus Hates Zombies was what came out. Uh, call it the product of several years of being an altar boy, of never really buying it when I was in Catholic school, of kind of seeing the hypocrisy of teaching religion and science back to back, and it wasn't because I was molested by a priest. I was not. Although, little known fact, scared the crap out of my mother, the priest from my school was actually accused of molestation. So, way to live the stereotype. But I was not one of those kids. So that's where that came from.